your experiences about the paranormal.
Yeah, so as you kind of mentioned, like just diving into some personal experiences, I'm going to touch on just things I've read about, videos I've watched. There's a lot of conspiracy within the paranormal universe just because people hear paranormal, they think ghosts. Paranormal could technically apply to like Bigfoot or
Psychic
aliens
people.
or yeah, just like anything that you're tapping into, either like you said, the other side,
Yeah.
or just
Anything
something
beyond
that
normal.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Paranormal
no,
literally just be
paranormal.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I was just kind of just diving into some experiences I've had. Um, I was actually just thinking about because I was just like trying to jog my memory quick, like before this episode started. That way, I knew I had a couple examples on hand, and the few I could think uh, one in particular was at your house. Um, and I think there's actually one or two at your house, but the one I'm thinking of now is we were hanging out. I can't remember if it was like middle school, like seventh, eighth grade, maybe even freshman year. I don't know if you had moved yet at the time,
Probably
but
yeah, I think I left the summer of eighth grade, if I remember correctly.
okay. So yeah,
But so it
it
was
would have been
eighth grade.
before that. But anyway, it was you and I don't know if anybody else was there yet, but we were waiting for Fryvault to show up. Okay, and um, so we're hanging out or whatever, and then all of a sudden the doorbell rings, and we go to the door, and I think either I got the door or like your mom got the door, or if like Lake or somebody else was there got the door. You were like just kind of sitting there like in shock, and I like remember you like I remember you didn't get the door because you were just sitting there in shock, and I opened the door and there's nobody there. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like, kind of peeked out, maybe thought he was playing a prank, and you're like, dude, I've lived here for X amount of years. That doorbell's been broken ever
Yeah, I
since
don't
I've
have a
lived here.
doorbell.
Yeah, I don't have a doorbell. It's broken.
It wasn't broken. It literally did not exist anymore. All the wiring was pulled. For anyone who wants to say, "Oh, maybe it's faulty wiring," no, there's no
Yeah,
doorbell
like
on that
but
house.
the button is still there on the outside of the house. Because I remember like the first couple times I came to your house to hang out, I'd press it, and then I remember you saying, "Oh yeah, it doesn't work." Like
Yeah, it's all
it's
gutted.
not. It's all yeah, it's all gutted. But yeah, it was like, and the weird thing was, it wasn't like a very just like regular doorbell. It was very like eerie and like it sounded broken. Yeah, it was just like, and it was just like grindy. But like you could tell it was a doorbell. And I just remember like you freaking out about, yeah, that doorbell's never gone off. It doesn't even exist. So, um, so yeah, there's that one, and then the other one I can think of is we were on your computer, off yours like your parents' computer or what it was, but basically I can't remember what we were looking up. Probably just like stuff about video games or just some videos on YouTube, but and you might have to like kind of fill in the gaps
No,
here.
I got you. Yeah, all that stuff still lingers with me. So,
Yeah. So,
there,
but basically, like a bunch of like pop-ups and stuff came up, and there's a lot of it was some of it was like pornographic, but some of it was like very gruesome, like just like even stuff that we would see now, like it would kind of like take
it'd
us
make you,
back.
yeah, take a step back. Like,
Yeah, it
what the
make your
fuck?
skin crawl a little bit.
You
And
know
no
that happened
matter,
to Brandon too. It also happened to
oh
Brandon.
yeah,
Man.
that's right.
Yeah, it happened to me also several times.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just there for that one time that it happened. But yeah, no matter how much we tried to close out of everything, it didn't work. And it got to the point where I think you just unplugged everything and then we just left it be and we didn't touch it for the rest of the night. Otherwise, aside from that, just being like in your old house period, there's just something not right about
Yeah.
it. Like really the living room, like literally like maybe like a fucking like 10 by 10 foot area of your house, it felt okay. If
Yeah,
you're
it was
sitting
literally the living room
if
was
you're
the only
sitting
safe spot.
yeah, if you're sitting on the couch like playing video games or watching TV or hanging out, you were fine. The second you kind of like, you got to the kitchen, it was kind of a dated kitchen. It was kind of weird. And then upstairs, that's just a whole other dimension that's where the hot spot was. But anywho, diving into some experiences again. One being, you remember Cody Rosner, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Can't forget him. I have a funny story with him that's not paranormal related.
Yeah. So, So yeah, we were at his house. I can't remember if it was for his birthday or if we were just hanging out. But I don't know if you had ever been to his house. But he had a very open backyard, and about 50, 60 yards, it turned into a cornfield, and then it was a massive cornfield behind his house. And I believe it was Cody and I, and then like maybe Tyler Rosner, Blaine, Jimmy, kind of just like a few. There's like probably 4 or 5 of us at the most, and we were having a fire in the backyard, and we are just hanging out or whatever. And then like as the night went on and it got later and later, like the backyard became foggy and kind of like just had that eerie kind of feel to it.
Silent Hill style.
Yeah. And then at one point, and I can't remember if I saw it or somebody else saw it, but at the edge of the cornfield, there was a set of eyes that you could see, and they were like
just eyeballs, just like, or was there like or is it in the dark, like glowing
like,
eyes?
It was like you couldn't see like a figure. You couldn't be like, that's an animal, that's a person. Like, because like I said, it was foggy, so like it was kind of just like distorted. And
that's the only thing that could stand out was its eyes.
Yeah, and this was 10, 12 years ago now. So obviously, as time goes on, this memory fades a little bit more. Yeah. But I just remember 2 like eyes, and they weren't like red eyes, so it wasn't like, oh, that's the devil. That's the devil. We're done. So, but it wasn't like, and like growing up in the Northwoods, we're very familiar with seeing deer eyes, raccoons. You see your dog, you see your cat. This was not any. Yeah, this was not one of those moments where I was like, oh, that's probably what that is. It was very like human eyes are not reflective, and that's something that, in watching it paranormal videos that I've watched, people are always like, oh, that's just a guy or whatever. But it's like, but these people always point out, it's like, but the person's eyes were reflective, so it's like something's up with it. So like basically,
interesting fact for you. Not to cut. I'm sorry. I just want to get to. I think there was one time when human eyes are reflective. I think it's if you have cataracts. I think it's a very I can't. Yeah. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure, but like, come on, who's gonna have cataracts standing out in the woods? You know, during a foggy night. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah, no, I forgot about that. Yeah, cataract. I think that is the only time your eyes can be reflective. But yeah, it was just one of those moments where it was just like a figure. Again, couldn't tell if it was human, creature, what it was, but you could just tell that you see eyes, and like I said, you could tell, oh, it's a deer, it's a bear, it's whatever. But you could just tell right away that you couldn't pinpoint what that was. So that was just like one of those eerie, like paranormal moments, and obviously we were too young and scared to go explore and see what it ended up being. So, but all of us saw it. Like we all confirmed it. Like and it was like for I think a minute or 2 that we saw it, and then slowly like either the fog took it over, or like it backed into the cornfield, or it just disappeared in the air, whatever it was. But
that's creepy.
So yeah, that was one of those moments. Another one, and I've talked about it a few times with how we're
still thinking that would give me fucking chills, dude. I don't. I couldn't even. I hate seeing shit like that. Like, no, because like, what are you gonna do? You know, especially at that age, what are you gonna fucking do, running? Like, you don't know what that thing is.
Exactly, and like
capture like 5 seconds.
The setting was perfect. The setting was perfect too, because like how I said, it was foggy, it was eerie. If maybe the fog wasn't there complete at all, we would have been able to tell exactly what it was. But it was almost as if it used the fog. It knew like that it was distorting our vision of it, that we couldn't tell exactly what it was. But